This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I am here with two parts of the triumvirate that make up les Vins de Vienne in the northern Rhône. I am here with Francois Villard over on the right and Yves Cuilleron on the left. I did quite well with the pronunciation there today, that's good.
It's okay.
Thank you very much for joining us in Toronto. Would you mind telling our viewers a little bit about your project and how it came about?
So we decided to make the joint venture of Les Vins de Vienne when we want to replant an old vineyard planted by the Romains 20th century ago, and this vineyard disappeared at the end of the 19th century. So we decided together to replant it, and we begin to replant the first vineyard in 1996. It's a vineyard just in front of Côte-Rôtie appellation, in the left side of the Rhône, and it's a beautiful terroir, and there is no vineyard since the end of the 19th century.
So this vineyard site, this ancient vineyard site that the three of you have resurrected, what are you doing with that vineyard today?
So we planted the vineyard in 1996, and we produced three different wines, one white and two red. The white wine, we call it Tabornum, it's 100% viogniers, and two red wine with syrahs, one called Eluicum and the second Sauternon.
Now, currently that does not exist within any appellation because it's right next to Côte-Rôtie, but it's not actually part of Côte de Rhône, for example.
Yes, because the vineyard totally disappeared at the end of the 19th century, and in France the appellation were created in the 40s. So because there is no vineyard at this time, we lose the appellation at this place. So now, when we replant it, it's Vin de Pays appellation. We call it now IGP. It means it's not an appellation. It's just Vin de Pays.
And you also make two reds in that vineyard.
Yes. We decided to make two red because we have now 10 hectares. Each parcel is separate, and we make two blends. One blend with a wine more making to age with more concentration, and another more easy to drink and more.
With Moniok with Sauternon and neutral Burgundy barrel with Eluicum.
What do the three Latin names mean?
It's a name we find in an old book written by Pliny. It's a Latin writer.
Yes.
And he explained it was the tree name was a tree cru from the antiquity. So we use the
resurrecting them from the past.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the fact we use this name is a reference to the history of the place.
Now, since you moved into this old area of vineyards, some other producers are now there. Some other growers are in there as well. And what are your hopes for this particular area?
So we hope one day to finish the work. It means to one day this place come back to an appellation from Northern Rhône.
Wow!
To be the last cru. From the Northern Rhône.
That would be fantastic, but it's a lot of work until you get there because it's step by step.
Yes, step by step. It will take time because we have to respect the chronology of the hierarchy of the Rhône Valley, to be first Côte du Rhône village, and finally cru at the end. Yes.
Well, gentlemen, I wish you all the very best of luck with that.
Thank you. Yes.
And how did you all become friends? Were you all friends as winemakers previously? And was this over a fantastic bottle of wine you decided to take upon this project?
First, I was intern at Yves in 1988.
Yes, I began in 1987, and 1 year after, I have Francois like interns at my winery for the harvest.
And I met Pierre in 1990 or 91. And we became friends a bit later.
And how many wines do you make today?
So Les Vins de Vienne, it's because we decided we replant this vineyard and we make the wine in this vineyard, but we also decide together to produce all the wine from the Rhône Valley. So now we have nearly 30 different labels.
30 different labels?
Yeah.
That's impressive. And how do you feel the North American, specifically the Canadian appreciation of Northern Rhône wine is today?
So the Northern Rhône wine have a specificity. It's a cool climate.
It's more like Burgundy climate. We are semi-continental climate in Northern Rhône, and Burgundy is continental, and Southern Rhône is meridional climate.
So the majority of the Rhône Valley, it's more the Southern Rhône, and people think Rhône it's a big wine with a high level of alcohol, with different grapes. But in fact, Northern Rhône, it's a very small vineyard. The totality of the Northern Rhône is the same size than Châteauneuf-du-Pape appellation. So it's very small. We have 8 different crus, but a very small cru each. And with the particularity to be a vineyard in terraces, with a small production, and with the cool climate, we have a wine very well balanced.
And we work with only one grape.
Yes, and the grapes we use, viogniers or syrahs or Marsanne Roussanne, the origin of these grapes come from Northern Rhône. It's grapes very well adapted to the climate and to the terroir.
Now, many people in North America are not all that familiar with some of the white Rhône wines. I've been lucky enough on my travels to taste many Saint-Joseph, Hermitage, and Condrieu, of course. How would you speak to the aging potential of any of those wines?
I think the Northern Rhône can age very well, and even the white or the red.
Even the whites, right?
Yes,
yeah.
and often we speak about Condrieu. It's a wine to drink young, but we have some tries of
can age well.
Yes, we can have. It's often people think it's don't age well because they like the Condrieu in the primary aroma, in the varietal.
When they have a kind of freshness,
yes,
and
you have a flavor of violet, of apricot. People like that. But you can have a Condrieu more than 10 years old, you lose this primary aroma, but you have another complexity and very interesting, and it can be interesting to drink also.
What kind of aromatics would one find in one of these aged whites?
It changes totally. For the Syrah, for example, when it's young, it's more fruity, more pepper, more, and with aging, it's more tobacco, it's more black olive, it's more it's different kind of aromas. It's the same for the white. In white, we can have some truffle aroma, some mushroom, and more complex, it changes its vintage.
Now, the Northern Rhône is arguably one of the most important parts of France gastronomically. Some people in other parts of France may have argument with that, but for me, it's certainly a centre of gastronomy. When it comes to your wines and very traditional dishes from the Northern Rhône, what are your favourite matches?
It depends if we speak about Syrah or Viognier.
Well, both, if you wish.
François,
About the Viognier, I'm not sure there are very very typical dish for Viognier, except the goat cheese we have in Condrieu, la rigotte de Condrieu. But Viognier and Condrieu match very well with scallops, shrimps, lobster. Very tight texture and very sweet texture. And after a few years old, with poultry or veal.
Yes.
And also foie gras, because Condrieu often looks sweet. It's dry, but it looks sweet. So with foie gras, it can match well.
Yes,
too.
yes, yeah. I've experienced that before. Yeah. And then with the Syrah?
So Syrah, it depends if it's young or old. On the fresh aromas, the fruity aromas of the Syrah, just meat, red meat and lamb, and after aging, when you are on 10 years old Syrah, it's much well more game or with venison with meat in sauce. And,
yes, yeah. Do you have much game up in the Northern Rhône?
Yeah, yes, we have a small game.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us in Toronto today. We're looking forward to the masterclass you're just about to conduct with a bunch of sommeliers from across the city next door in just a few moments. And we look forward to catching up with you very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye for now.